Welcome to another edition of Straight Shooting Sports Talk, and I'm your host, Dujane Bland. And as always, this is our Redskins edition of the show. So we welcome you Cowboys fans who are watching this show because this is Dallas week. No matter how lackluster the Redskins have been, it's a lot on the line in this game. Pride and the division. Now, when we look at the Redskins last week, 7 turnovers. Wow. A lot of mistakes that are not normally done by this football team, but Kirk Cousins played very well. He had the 2 turnovers. I'm sure he'd like to have those back, but he made a lot of crisp throws, and I think that's the best we've seen a quarterback play for the Washington Redskins all season long. As much as I love RG3, the facts are the facts, and the tape does not lie. Now, with that being said, where does the team go from here going into this week? Well, I think we found a spark. This team on the offensive line seemed to block a little bit better, but it could be accredited to Cousins getting the ball out a little bit faster. Now, granted, there's still some breakdowns, and those breakdowns are going to be there because this offensive line is not that great. So, coming into Dallas week, we get news that London Fletcher is 99% sure that he's going to retire at the end of the season. Now, I don't take this as much of a surprise. I think when you see the way that he's played this year, it's definitely not on the level of what he did last year, but some of that could be accredited to the fact that the defensive coordinator not putting these guys in position to make plays very well. And, some instances it looked like he's lost a little bit of a step. But, he's a pillar of this football team. And with that being announced this week, it's another motivating factor for this defense and for this team to go out and perform well for the fans, which is the Washington Redskins Super Bowl. And you know how much this team wants to beat Dallas and the fans want to beat Dallas, but especially at FedEx Field in Washington, D.C. So going into Dallas week, we're looking at 2 teams here that, like I said, pride and the division on the line. Let's go over to the Cowboys now. Dallas Cowboys had a 23 or 26-3 lead, and watch it slowly go away, and they lose by 1. On some Romo interceptions that I'm going to stand here and say were not Romo's fault. Now, I know he made a call that from a pass to a run to a pass. That was a great play by that corner. Probably shouldn't have done that, especially with the game on the line. Clock running out, 1 timeout. Didn't need much for a first down. Probably should have ran the ball there, but we'll give you a pass on that. Now, Beasley probably should have continued his route. I know that others are saying that that's what the design is to do, is for him to sit on that route. Romo thinks he's going one way. Beasley sits on the route. And that was another hard pick. It's not like he threw it directly to him. I mean, he had to work to get that pick. So I'm not going to blame Romo, but now we're going to look at the defensive side of the ball. And who are we going to stop? Nobody. That's right. This defense doesn't stop a soul. They couldn't even stop a bunch of ants. I mean, it's just horrific. Now, we don't know whether Sean Lee's going to be back. That's going to be a problem. They're going to gain 2 guys. Claiborne looks like may not play. That's going to be a problem. And you're facing a quarterback in Kirk Cousins that has thrown a lot of deep balls and was very accurate doing so. And we know that the Dallas Cowboys defense loves to give up the big play. Couple that with a solid running game from Alfred Morris, barring that he doesn't go and have fumbleitis this time, it could be a huge problem for the Dallas Cowboys. They could be in a dogfight again and find themselves hanging their heads, leaving FedEx Field for a second time, only to watch the Eagles win the division. Now, the Washington Redskins have stepped up their play on defense. I expect them to be as solid as they have been, but they can't allow Romo to get into a rhythm with Witten, Beasley, and Williams. Notice I didn't mention Dez Bryant. Why? Because Dez has been locked down by D'Angelo Hall every time that they play, going back to last season. Now, all you Cowboys fans can make your arguments, but the stats don't lie, okay? Dez don't show up for Redskins games because he's on lockdown. I expect him to be on lockdown this Sunday. Now, with all that being said, with the great play of Kirk Cousins and that running game, I expect the Redskins to win this football game. Last week, they had 7 turnovers, guys, and they lost the game by 1. I know people don't like the call, but you're 3-10. Who gives a crap? We don't want this to go into overtime. You don't have nothing to lose anyway. Go for it. I like the call. But 7 turnovers and they lost the game by 1. That never happened. I expect less turnovers in this game. I expect Kirk to get better. I expect it to be a heightened level of play because of the announcement of the leader, London Fletcher, leaving. And I expect the Redskins to get a win in Landover, Maryland at FedEx Field and to send the Cowboys packing because they have no defense. That's right, no defense. And with the pressure cooker on, we know how that team's played under pressure. And it's December. Well, that's all for our show. Again, if you have any comments, please leave them at the bottom of our show. We'll keep that dialogue going with you. If you have anything you want to discuss, if you just want to chat about something, we have 2 venues for you. If you have something that you want us to discuss, shoot us an email to straightshootingst@gmail.com. And of course, check out our Facebook page /straightshootingst. If you have anything you want to talk about there, we'll be more than glad to chat it up with you. Well, we thank you for watching the show again. This has been another episode of Straight Shooting Sports Talk.